or high. Cordova, the ancient city in Andalusia, the capital of the province Cordova. It is located on the Sierra Morena spur slope on the right coast of Guadalquivir in fertile and very hot area. Cordova is founded at the time of domination of Rome. Today Cordova, the modern city of the average sizes with the population of 321,000 people. In the old city many historical monuments of an era of blossoming of the capital of the Cordoba Caliphate occupying almost all Iberian Peninsula remained. Cordova is known since Phoenician colonization. According to Strabo and Ptolemaios, Cordova, the city in Spain, the center of the tribe of Turdeton. It is taken in the Second Punic War, 218-201 BB, by Romans. At Augustus, the main town of the province of Baetica. It was won by Vandals, Byzantium, Visigoths, and in 711 Muslim troops. Since 756 it was the capital of the Cordoba Emirate, and since 929 the Cordoba Caliphate. In the 10th century reached the blossoming, the set of palaces, mosques, caravanserai became one of the centers of education and sciences when had up to 1 million inhabitants, and I was the center of the Arab science, poetry and art. With disintegration in 1031 of the Cordoba Caliphate of Cordova kept independence only till 1070 when it was subordinated by the Emir of Seville. In the period of Reconquista Cordova in 1236 I passed under the power of the Castilian King Ferdinand III and the historical destiny it intertwined with the fate of Castile and then Spain. In city economy and the province the important place is taken by agricultural productions. Winemaking, production of olive oil, flour, leather. From industrial. Copper smelting. 70% of the all Spanish production of electrolytic copper concentrated. Electrotechnical, agricultural, mechanical engineering. The initiative of the cultural capital of Europe, affected also Cordoba. The city applied for acquisition of this status in 2016. Sites. Rimsky Bridge 250 meters long has 16 arches. Is in the center of a historical part of the city and connects areas of the sacred field of martyrs. Campo Santo de los Martires, and the cathedral. Originally the bridge was built by ancient Romans in the 1st century for trade transportations across ancient Augustovia Road. From Rome to Cadiz. At the time of the Emperor Octavian Augustus. The bridge had an important strategic importance, connecting northern and southern coast of Guadalquivir. Later it was reconstructed by Moors in the 8th century and after Reconquista. Throughout 20 centuries Rimsky Bridge was the only bridge in the city until in the middle of the 20th century built St. Raphael's Bridge. Rimsky Bridge was point through which there passed from the south of Spain numerous travelers and dealers. There was the southern customs post of Cordoba. Since May 1, 2004 the bridge became pedestrian, and driving of transport through him is forbidden. On the southern left coast of Guadalquivir at the southernmost tip of the bridge the defensive tower of Calo, the fortress, oldest in the city, constructed in the 14th century towers. Calo's Tower, an example of architecture of the late Islamic period of Cordoba, constructed as defensive works at the end of the 12th century at Al-Makab. During release of the city, the tower was damaged, but restored in 1369 by Enrique II Castelci. Now in a tower the museum is placed. On the opposite coast of the bridge, the Gate Puerta del Punt, constructed by the architect Herman Ruiz in the 16th century on the place of ancient Roman entrance gate on the occasion of visit of the city by Philip II, located. Puerta del Punt, mistakenly called a triumphal arch, in fact it served as pass through an ancient fortification. Right there the column and a figure of the Archangel Raphael. The 17th century. The patron of Cordova towers. Within the walls of Alcazar of Christian kings. All history of Cordova and the Roman province which capital was Cordova is briefly traced. It is caused by good location, first of all at the expense of the riverbank Guadalquivir and the dominating Roman bridge located on August Road, the chief military and a trade way in Andalusia. Numerous archaeological finds demonstrate the sequence of cultures which dominated at different times in this city. The Roman columns and capitals, plinths, moldings of Visigoths and the Arab letters imprinted on his walls and towers. During long stay of Muslims in these lands, Alcazar was a part of group of buildings which made the palace of the Caliphate and, at the same time, were defensive works. Subsequently, as a result of various invasions, they were partially destroyed. After Christian gain in 1236, the King Fernando III made the loch remains the royal residence. Later in 1327, Alcazar was completely reconstructed by the Castilian king Alfonso XI and took that form which reached our time. Alfonso XI's troops won fight at Salado, in honor of it in Córdoba the Gothic palace and San Hipólito's temple where Alfonso XI was buried together with colleagues in fight was built. Alcazar is a defensive complex which departs from canons of the strict Arab typological requirements which were the main reference points of construction of military architecture of Christian Reconquista in Córdoba. Since 1482, Alcazar was the headquarters of troops of Catholic kings. 10 years in Alcazar's strategy of gaining the Granada Emirate, the last stronghold of the Arab dominion in Spain, was developed. At this time in the palace at the King Ferdinand II and the Queen Isabella Edi daughter, the Princess Maria, future Queen of Portugal, was born. In the same time, together with Christopher Columbus, the plan is developed and preparation of his trip to America is carried out. In 1492 there was reunification of Spain to accession of the Granada Emirate. In the same time Córdoba stops being the capital, Alcazar is given to Court of Inquisition which was in fortress, wasn't cancelled by the Cadiz Cortes in 1812 yet. In 1822 the loch is converted in the prison existing there till 1931. A considerable part of all constructions, inside patios and gardens, suffered for this period. Later Alcazar was transferred to the military authorities, while in 1955 all complex of buildings, parks and gardens wasn't transferred to the city of Córdoba. In 1994 Alcazar was included in the Register of Objects of the World Cultural Heritage of UNESCO as a part of the historic center of Córdoba. Alcazar represents almost square loch with angular towers and about 4100 m. On the old base and the remains of Mauritian constructions, the Castilian king Alfonso XI's Provedlivi created an ideal architectural complex. By means of a carving on a stone, using the European rules of Gothic Christian art in the city, which throughout centuries was under the Arab dominion. It created the Lock Palace, having opposed to Muslim, having thrown down, thus, a peculiar challenge to Islam as optimism of triumphal bragging of winners and expectation of economic prosperity. In 8 kilometers to the west from Cordova there are ruins of the ancient city Medina of Az-Zahra. The Cordova Cathedral Mosque, Mezquita, Roman Catholic Cathedral. In the past the mosque, once the largest in Europe. Mezquita's construction began approximately in 600, and it was under construction as Vestgotsky Church of Vincent of Saragossa. I became the mosque later. Originally, Mosque al-Diama. It was remade, then I became the mosque again. The initial building didn't remain up to now. In 711 it was destroyed by. In 784 AAB Rahman of I built the mosque in honoring of the wife. The land was bought by the emir at the previous owners. The mosque was included into a part of rooms of his palace. In 1236 Cordova was won from Moors by the King Ferdinand III Kastilski, and the mosque was repeatedly consecrated in Christian church. Synagogue in Cordova. The only synagogue which remained in original state in Andalusia and also one of 3 remained synagogues in all territory of Spain in general. It is constructed at the beginning of the 14th century at the time of government of Catholic kings and is directly at gate of Puerta de Almodovar, an entrance to the Jewish quarter. In 1492, after exile of Jews from Cordova, the synagogue was turned into Christian church and later was used as hospital. In 1884 the famous architect and the historian Rafael Romero Barras, who thoroughly studied all materials and artifacts having relation to it and drew conclusions on her historical importance, paid attention to a synagogue. In 1929 the synagogue was recognized as a national monument. It is possible to get to a synagogue through the courtyard which conducts to the lower hall intended only for men. The lower hall is left by a ladder on the top tier intending for women who weren't allowed on service. Over an entrance to a synagogue the inscription in Hebrew is located. Open gate only for those someone are fair and just. Walls of a synagogue are decorated with a carving in the form of geometrical and vegetable ornaments. Style. And also excerpts from the Old Testament. In east wall of a synagogue there is a niche intended for a roll of the Torah in which the name of the architect, Isaac Sheba, and expiration date of construction, is engraved 1315. On the western wall the ancient arch in which it is still possible to see cross outlines is located. This Catholic symbol belongs to 1588 when this building was used by a guild of shoemakers as a chapel of the Saint Crispin, who is their patron. Before a synagogue the monument to the great philosopher, physician and lawyer of the Middle Ages Maimonides, native of Cordova, is located. This outstanding husband of the time I was Jew. The monument and a memorial plate are established in honor of the 800th anniversary from the date of his birth. Among the twin cities of Córdoba there are cities with similar characteristics and connected with the Islamic period in the history of Córdoba. Since 2007 the twinning with the city of León, Spain, is established. Since 2004 the twinning with the city of Santiago de Compostela, Spain. Is established in honor of Cordova the asteroid. 365 of Cordova opened in 1893 is called. The name Cordova is carried by a number of the cities in Argentina, Mexico, the USA. The name Cordova is carried by a number of provinces in Spain, Argentina. Art. In Cordova, a feature film about the matador Manuel Loreno Rodriguez Sanchez was shot. The movie Manolete appeared in 2008. The director Menno Mies in leading roles Adrien Brody, Penelope Cruz, Santiago Segura acted. The name of the city was included into the name of the novel of Dina Rubina. 2009. White Pigeon of Cordova. The currency of Nicaragua is called Nicaraguan Cordoba. City Conservatory. Name of Rafael Orozco. Holidays and festivals. Sacred Week. Priaster. Flight of Flowers. A holiday opens the Cordova May. From vehicles throw flowers into the audience. Generally carnations, which those shower back the last Sunday of April. May in Cordova. This month in the city there take place the main festivals. May crosses, on streets and squares of the city appear the 3-meter crosses decorated with flowers and greens. Festival and competition of the patio. Competition of lattices and balconies. City fair or feria. Feria de Fin Santa. A folklore holiday in honor of Fuensant's maiden at the church of the same name, on September 8. Day of Saint Raphael, the patron of Cordova, on October 24. The medieval market. January. Festival of Blues, City of Cordova, May. Night of the Flamenco in Cordova. June. The International Festival of the Guitar. July. Animacore, the International Festival of Animation, November. Also far. Write comments. Read comments. Interesting people will tell interesting stories. All of good mood and good luck.